It's time to predict every single starter for Arizona State this season. It'll shock you who we have at quarterback.
Happy Wednesday and welcome into the PHNX Sun Devils show. Of course, coming to you live from Studio K, presented by Circle K. Make sure you join Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. I am Anthony Totri, joined as always by my strawberry swirl girl, of course, Erik Ruby. And once again, the Deli Man has returned. He is back behind the Mac, making all of the magic happen. Do us a solid, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. I feel like we got to give a major shout out to Samuel Stone for being first here. Also, great name, Samuel Stone. That's just a phenomenal name. Sharing in the chat. Camp T is so gorgeous. I always love the videos and photos that come out during Camp T week. Em is here alongside Emily as well with a happy Wednesday. We will be up at Camp Tontozona on Saturday. So if you're looking for some PHNX Sun Devils Camp T content, well, you're just going to have to wait a couple more days. But I promise it is on the way. In the meantime, while we're still here in the Valley, though, we're going to be talking about that first depth chart that you can expect to see from Arizona State ahead of that first game against NAU, which is just 24 days away.
Tomorrow's going to be 23.
23.
After that, 22. And eventually, it's going to be here.
I mean, I'm juiced.
It's so exciting. I mean, you know, you always get excited for the start of the football season, right? And even last year, I would say that we were excited for the season to start, even though the expectations weren't that high. But going into a season like this, with expectations like this, with players like this, with coaches like this,
with co-hosts like this.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. No, but I am super, super excited because it's like, you're almost not even waiting on like the unknown of week one. Like last year when you went against Wyoming, we all thought ASU was going to win, but nobody expected that to happen. Week one against NAU, if they don't win by 70, we're all going to be shocked, right? So it's like, we're all just getting ready to see this team dominate for the first time of hopefully many times. And then the real tests begin after that. And once we get in there, it's going to be like a flood, right? Like the dam has been building up the entire offseason and it's about to burst on August 31st.
It's going to be a lot of fun for that. And I think, again, there are some guys going into this season in some positions where you're like, okay, we expect to see Sam Leavitt, right, starting at quarterback, despite what you said in the cold open. We expect to see...
Just wait. I've heard Jeff Sims has had a great fall camp.
He has actually had a great camp. We have seen, you know, and heard some great things about Shaman at tight end and Tyson at wide receiver, but there are certainly some positions that do feel like they're a little bit up for grabs, and those position battles are seemingly ongoing. But given what we've seen through the first couple weeks of fall camp, we've got some guesses, some educated guesses as to who will be starting where. Again, this is all just based off of what we've seen through the first week and a half of fall camp. Things could change before you actually do get to the season, before we get into what the offense is shaping up to look like. Tanner is saying, how is the QB3 battle shaping up between Christian Hunt, Cam Dyer, and then Michael Tollefson as well? I think if you had to give it to somebody right now, it would probably be Hunt, if I had to guess. That is, in my estimation, simply because, I mean, he was here last year. Yeah. You look at Cam Dyer, who still is not necessarily ready health-wise to take the 11-on-11 reps. And Butter is still getting acclimated to the system and all those things.
He'll have his time.
He absolutely will. But again, as it stands, the quarterbacks, you know what it's going to be. Sam Leavitt starting, and then Jeff Sims as the backup. The quarterback room, quarterback competition is over.
It's
you don't
so
have
funny,
to
dude.
worry
That was
about
the
it.
absolute number one storyline that we were talking about 365 days ago, right before Camp T. Leading up in fall camp, it was Leavitt and Sims. Oh, Leavitt overthrew.
even then,
Sims
it was like-
no. Honestly, like
You can go back, and there is zero chance that I was sitting here discussing a reality where Jeff Sims was starting over Sam Leavitt.
ooh,
I dare you to go find it.
I'm not going to because that sounds like a lot of work. But
It's because it doesn't exist.
I think we said, yeah, Sam Leavitt's a starter, but man, it did not look like that big of a gap between the two of them.
Well,
during
Dilly
camp
was talking
last
about
year.
two
NFL quarterbacks, two Sunday guys.
Yeah, two Sunday
Two
guys.
Sunday
Which,
guys.
hey,
It could be.
You never know.
Could be.
You never know. But let's take a look at what the offense for Arizona State should look like when the Saturdays start rolling around. Of course, you got quarterback Sam Leavitt. At running back, I've got Kyson Brown here, but we have talked really all fall camp so far and a lot of the summer that this should be a by committee approach. So just because Kyson Brown is penciled in as RB1, don't take it as the end-all, be-all, like you are not going to see Kanye Udoh and Raleek Brown, because I guarantee you will see both of those guys in this offense a good chunk this season alongside Kyson Brown. Getting to tight end, no surprises here.
Nope.
Shimon Mateer is likely going to be your starting tight end. With that said, I would expect ASU fans to get a healthy dose of Kamari Anderson, who in my estimation has maybe had one of the best fall camps of anybody on this offense, and AJ Ia as well, right? I think you're going to see AJ Ia a good chunk this year, especially against teams like an NAU, a Mississippi State, a Texas State.
I think you'll see Cameron Harpool too. I think they're going to use their tight ends in a lot of different ways, and they have a lot of different skills.
Yeah.
And I expect a lot of goal line Cameron Harpool is going to be out there trying to move somebody.
Well, and again, this is based off of what you'll probably see in the base offense, where there is 3 wide receivers and 1 tight end.
Yeah.
Not necessarily what you're going to see when you do get to 12 and 13 personnel,
which they're going to do.
You will see 12 and 13 personnel. Heck, I want to see. Give me a 4th and 1, 14 per. Give me 4 tight ends,
dude,
out there. No wide receivers.
You've got the tight ends.
I mean, you do. You have the tight ends. You got the size of those guys up there. It's going to be a lot of fun to see this tight end position. But keeping it moving here as it relates to the wide receivers. At Z, I've got Jordyn Tyson. No surprises there. At X, opposite him, I do have Malik McClain as a day 1 starter right now. Shane brought it up. All you ever see, though, is Turbo catching touchdowns and big-time highlights, fall camp, spring ball, summer workouts. It's what we've seen. And I do think you'll see a lot of Jaron Hamilton this season, but I do think if it is penciling out who is going to run out there first team on Saturday against NAU, I do think if it were tomorrow that it would be Malik McClain. At the Y, I do have Jalen Moss penciled in there. Don't see a lot of movement really with him outside the ones. In terms of the offensive line, from left tackle to right tackle, I do have Josh Atkins still starting at left tackle, who's a starting LT for ASU in 2024. At left guard, I've got Jamedo Abigbo, who is a transfer from Texas State. He has had a decent fall camp. At center, I've got Ben Coleman. Right guard, Kyle Scott, a returner for ASU. And then at right tackle, Max Ahanachor taking back that starting right tackle spot, despite him missing the entirety of spring football.
Glenn asked, so this is an official depth chart for camp or a prediction, just a prediction?
This is based off of what I have seen from the handful of practices out at ASU.
It's an educated prediction.
Yeah.
A couple of things I think we need to unpack here. It's probably the right place to start at running back because you can only have one starting running back. Is that maybe the position that we'll talk about for both sides of the ball today that is the closest or the smallest amount of separation between the starter and number 2 in the depth chart?
No, really? I don't think so. I think, again, like all of these running backs give you different things. We've seen Raleek run with the ones a lot in team tempo, right? And this is somebody that you maybe wouldn't necessarily think, hey, who's the first running back running out there? Sometimes it is Raleek Brown, right? Because he does bring some unique dimensions to this ASU offense that you saw a lot of in Cam Scadaboo's game last year. But then you look to a guy like Kanye Udoh, who is probably the strongest running back on this roster, who has shown you that he can catch the football. And he can run outside the tackles. He's not somebody that you're just going to give it to on a short yardage or goal line situation. So all these running backs are really, really talented, and they've all had, I think, really solid camps. In all honesty, this is not me saying, oh, like, hey, Kyson's had a better camp
like
than
Kyson's
Kanye.
gone out there and cemented himself as surefire running back
absolutely not. I think each and every one of these guys has had a really solid camp to this point, but there is a specific position that we'll talk about a little bit later on that for me feels like it is a true toss-up. Like one day it could be this guy, the next day it could literally be somebody.
But this is one of. This has to be one of. And of course, we've talked about the depth at the running back position. I mean, you're going to see all three of those guys used quite a bit this year. I did an impromptu Ask Me Anything in our Discord today because I was just sitting at the car dealership. And somebody asked what's more likely, 2 wide receivers going for 1,000 yards or 2 running backs going for 800 yards.
2 running backs.
And it's the 2 running backs going for 800 yards. Because they're so different too. Like all 3 of them have very different styles.
Yeah.
And when you can run 2 back sets as well, because Raleek can be a pseudo wide receiver as well. Like you're going to see those guys on the field together. You're going to see them rotated in and out. But I think, snap 1, game 1, I think Kyson Brown's going to be in the backfield.
Yeah, I agree. David in the chat asking, do you guys have height and weight on the front 5 for the offensive line? Your left tackle, Josh Atkins, at 6'4", 310 pounds as a redshirt senior. Your left guard, Jamedo Bigbo, 6'4", 325 pounds as a redshirt senior. Your starting center, Ben Coleman, penciled in at 6'3", 320 pounds as a grad student. Your right guard, Kyle Scott, 6'5", 330 pounds as a redshirt senior. And then Max Ahanachor as your starting right tackle as it stands right now, penciled in at 6'6", 330 pounds. Not a single offensive lineman for Arizona State that weighs less than 300 pounds.
That's good.
It's huge.
That is
literally huge. Your smallest offensive lineman is your starting center at 6'3", 320. Everybody else is above 6'4", it looks like.
Is Jalen Clem at all competing to be on that graphic?
He's 100% competing, but maybe not at the spot that you'd think. This is somebody that we have seen during spring football, obviously at the right tackle spot, but he also has shown and taken reps at left tackle this fall as well. So somebody that you could probably assume that if there were an offensive line injury at left or right tackle, that Jalen Clem is going to be the first man off the bench there. Also wouldn't be surprised if Arizona State decided to use Jalen Clem as a rotational piece at tackle.
You have to rotate on the offensive line throughout a game.
And you have him, right, as somebody that is still really solid size-wise, 6'6". In terms of height and length, he gives you exactly what you want at a tackle spot, right? Ahanachor at 6'6" as well. However, Jalen Clem is a little bit smaller of a tackle with just 295 pounds on him. Still trying to work back some of that weight that he lost last year. So I think you will see Jalen Clem this season, but as a day one starter, if this game were tomorrow, I would say that you are probably going to see the 5 offensive linemen that we've laid out. And Josh Atkins, Jamedo Bigbo, Ben Coleman, Kyle Scott, and Max Ahanachor.
Okay, so let's talk about the wide receivers then.
Let's do it.
Okay, because my guy, Malik McClain,
your guy.
I'm putting the stamp on it. That is Eric Ruby's dude for the season. Is Malik McClain.
You have said for a while now that Malik is
like,
your
you know
guy.
how Keith Abney was your guy?
Yes.
Yeah, like Malik McClain's my guy. All right. Like I see a lot in him. I think he's getting better, and you can't teach the measurables that he has as well. And the big play, big game instinct and impact that he showed in the last 2 games of the season last year when he was called upon after not playing at all, last year. How close do you think that battle is between him and Jaren? Because I know they're both going to get run because they're 2 completely different wide receivers. But do you feel like that is as close of a toss-up as we've talked about it at running back? Or is there a little bit more separation there between Malik and Jaren?
And this has nothing to do with a talent gap. For me, I do feel like it is Malik's spot at this point. Jaren Hamilton has done some phenomenal things in practice. He's looked really good in camp. We've heard Can he talk about him? This is somebody that, I mean, when you guys were gone, I did a solo show on him and Crook and some of these other guys that have had really solid camps that could be difference makers for ASU this year. I do think Jordyn Hamilton will be a difference maker for Arizona State in 2025.
Agreed.
With that said, I just think that Malik McClain gives you something right now that none of the other wide receivers have, at least as it relates to Jordyn Tyson and Jalen Moss, and that is height, right? Like, yes, they're tall, but they're not 6'5", right? Malik McClain gives you that jump ball ability. He is a walking mismatch because of that size, and he's somebody that is really honed in on the little things that maybe prevented him from actually playing in 2024.
Yeah, I think that when Jaren is on the field, there might not be a better ratio of snaps to like impact plays. Yeah, maybe him and like Raleek, depending on how much Raleek is used.
It'll be a lot.
He's going to be a very, very good impact player. And there's a real benefit of playing a guy like Jordyn Hamilton along a Jalen Moss and a Jordyn Tyson, because when you have that game-changing speed, when you have somebody that can get downfield, and then two guys in Tyson and Moss that can cut up in the middle or short range, right? Or even somebody like in Jordyn Hamilton, if you just have him catch like a little screen pass and just get some good blockers out there, him and Cameron Hartpool out there blocking for him, like he could pick up a game-changing play, a momentum-shifting play, all of that. So I would not be shocked if he's playing a ton.
You'll see, and I'm pretty firm on this number, but I feel confident that you will see a healthy amount of you'll see a good chunk of 5 receivers this year. Jordyn Tyson, Jalen Moss, Malik McClain, Jordyn Hamilton, and I believe Noble Johnson will still get some run. Probably not as much as the other 4, but I do think that will be that group of wideouts that you see. I think Zechariah Sample and Derek Eusebio are 2 guys that are working their tail off every single day in practice, that for me, it feels like they deserve to get reps out there, but it just does feel like there are still so many bodies in this room that it is going to be a little bit more of a challenge for Sample and Eusebio to see the field in games where it is like you're going against Baylor, you're going against Colorado.
Welcome to being a good team.
You will see him against NAU. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, sure. Zechariah Sample, I would not be shocked if we're talking at the end of on the post-game show, if we're talking about Zechariah Sample as somebody that's gone over the century mark and a touchdown.
I mean, that'd be great. I mean, welcome to being a good program. You got guys who could play that aren't. Yeah. Like that's the standard. You know how many guys are at Alabama that could play but don't? Yeah. Right? Georgia, Ohio State, right? Why do you think it's such a big deal when those guys transfer who haven't played and go to other schools? When we talk about a Jordyn Hamilton, or I believe Kansas has a former 5-star Alabama wide receiver that they also got in the transfer portal. Like these are guys that could play, but they're not. And that's a great thing to have, because also we talked about it yesterday. We'll talk about it consistently, and it's going to come up during the season, is you need depth. You need people, because somebody might get dinged up for a game. Like, this is football. Right? We go in here and we look at this starting lineup. I know it's not basketball, but you know what I mean. This starting lineup is going to be different in the final game of the season than it is right now. Like, it's very rare that as any football team will have the same exact player
have 100% health, and to assume that nobody else really surpasses anybody.
When we go, and that's also the thing, right? Is like, who is the surprise? Who is the shocker? You know, and I think there are some names that could go on there when you're in a place like Arizona State that's, you know, fostering competition, and, you know, people are continuing to get better and improving themselves. Like, if Zechariah Sample does have over 100 yards in the first game, and then he gets some run, game 2 against Texas State, it makes an impact, and then game 3 against Mississippi State, it's like, at a certain point, he's gonna earn the fact that he's gonna be out there if he continues to make game-changing plays, right? So I'm really looking forward to see how all of that shifts out. But for me, I love the combination of a Jalen Moss, Malik McClain, and Jordyn Tyson. And when you talk about Jalen Moss, it's so funny because he's getting lost in the conversation. Well, because he's just steady. Yeah. Right? But like the moment that he transferred in, it was like, yeah, that guy's going to start at your ex. Like literally the moment that he transferred in, and then this entire summer, it's like, yeah, and Jalen Moss is going to start opposite of Jordyn Tyson. Yeah. Right? And it was the 3rd spot that was up for grabs. And that says something when you look at Jordyn Hamilton, Malik McClain, like the depth that you have at wide receiver to have a guy transfer in from Fresno State. The tape looks good, but the numbers aren't crazy. Yeah. Like, he didn't go just like insane.
I think back-to-back years of like 700 receiving yards. Yeah,
which is great. It's great, but it's not like he's transferring in with like over 1,000. It's like, oh, that's a surefire starter. But you watch the tape, you see the impact, and him playing next to Tyson, like the hands that those two are going to have, and then big playability from either Malik McLean jump ball down the field. He's got the speed, or Jaron Hamilton, who's just a little smaller but has the same stuff and a little bit faster. Like, you're a defense. You got to think about all of that. Oh, crap, there's Shimon Mateer. Oh, crap, there's Kyson Brown. There's Raleek Brown. There's Kanye Udo coming at me at 20 miles per hour. I'm about to get bowled over, right? Oh, Sam Leavitt decided to run the ball this time, right? Like, there's so many options, no matter who, if the people are out there, if your two deep is out there, if you go a little bit deeper, like, there are options and weapons on this offense. And, you know, a lot of people are super high on the defense, as they should be. But, like, I think every single week we're going to have to be talking about what was better, offense or defense. And it's going to be a legitimate competition.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. Yes, Bees, this is live. He was asking about who would be who's like the replacement for like a Melquan Stovall, who is the vertical downfield threat.
This isn't live. We just predicted that you were going to ask that.
I feel like that is a question that we can easily answer for you on the other side of our first break. Look, if you guys are looking for something fun to do this weekend, maybe outside of going to Camp Tantazona, well, we've got just the thing. Pure Edibles. Now, Pure Edibles, they were founded in Arizona, and they're available in 130 dispensaries statewide. Odds are, if you go to a dispo, you can find some Pure Edibles. My favorite thing about Pure Edibles is the fact that their gummies don't taste like weed. They still pack a punch, but man, they taste like candy, and they're not covered in sugar like all of their competitors. Pure, a full-fledged candy company offering gummies, Kicks, which are their version of Starburst. I mean, who doesn't like Starburst? Chews, soft candies like caramel, and then hard candies as well. Now, Pure lists their effects clearly on each tin, so you know exactly what effects you guys can expect. If you're looking for some vibes, well, maybe check out the uplifting edibles. If you're somebody that has trouble sleeping, check out the sleep support. Regardless, make sure you go find yourself some Pure Edibles products from one of the over 130 dispensaries across Arizona.
Let me paint a picture for you. Me, Totri, the deli man, we're on our way to Camp T. We're up there, and Erik forgets that he needed to put his thermostat up a couple of degrees because he wanted to save some money, because you can save a good chunk of money by raising your thermostat here in the summer.
So what do you do?
Is Erik out of luck? No, because Erik has an APS smart thermostat, and I can just pull out my phone, not while I'm driving, of course, or I can hand my phone to the deli man or Totri. I won't tell them my password, though. And they can go onto my APS app, and they can adjust my smart thermostat from the car, from camp, from wherever. And that's exactly what you can do as well. And remember, nearly half of your energy costs come from cooling and heating, so an APS smart thermostat can help you manage your bills, and APS customers may be eligible for smart thermostats for as low as $0 when you enroll in the APS Cool Rewards program. And if you already have a smart thermostat at home like myself, see if it's eligible to enroll in Cool Rewards. Plus, free install is available at marketplace.aps.com. Must be an APS customer, pay shipping and taxes. Other restrictions apply. Go to marketplace.aps.com for more information.
Now, getting back to B's question, a replacement for Stovall, also a vertical speed threat. I think that's honestly two different questions. Like, I don't think Melquan Stovall was necessarily your vertical speed threat last year. I think it was more Xavier Guillory, in all honesty. Stovall was mainly your guy that would sit in the zone underneath, coming out of the slot, runs crisp routes, that is your security blanket for your quarterback, right? And I think Jalen Moss is probably that guy, the guy that is going to be playing in the slot a good chunk this season, although you can expect to see Jordyn Tyson moving all over the formation in bunch and trips and in all of the different sets. So don't get too comfy just expecting Jordyn Tyson on the perimeter outside the numbers. He's somebody that can line up anywhere, and you'll see it this year. But as it relates to the vertical speed threat, if Jaron Hamilton is not in the game, Jordyn Tyson's your vertical speed threat. I think that's something that doesn't get enough run in at least, or hasn't got enough run over the first few weeks of camp, is the speed of Jordyn Tyson. I think when we get to the end of the year discussion about like what surprised folks about ASU's offense in 2025, I think it really is going to be that Jordyn Tyson is faster than a lot of people think.
Well, and that's the thing with Jordyn Tyson. He's faster and stronger than a lot of people think. And then everybody talks about him as a Biletnikoff finalist, which will have
award watch list.
Award watch list. My bad. He's going to be a finalist. But we got a little something on that coming out later this week. But this is on Bruce Feldman's freak list, who he was a nominee for. Obviously, he's 6'2", 205, right? Hit 22.8 miles per hour and bench press 335 pounds.
Yeah.
He's going to block you into the ground, and he's going to burn you. And that's the thing where when you have such a creative offense and an offensive play caller and Marcus Arroyo and something that's been schemed up by, all of the offensive staff and Kenny Dillingham, they know that Jordyn Tyson can do everything.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we talk about a lot of these wide receivers like Malik McClain. He has a lot of tools in his bag. Right? Jaron Hamilton has some tools in his bag. Maybe one of them is sharper than most if he doesn't have as many. Right? Jalen Moss might have more tools, but they might not be as sharp. He's just more steady. Jordyn Tyson has the entire tool bag, and they're all sharp. like everything is going to be dangerous for Jordyn Tyson.
Oh, 100%.
And you can use him in every single way, and he's not afraid to block. Right? I think that was the thing that stood out last year about Jordyn Tyson was, this guy's probably going to be your wide receiver 1. But he is going to do the dirty work of somebody who's trying to get on the field
1,000%
and trying to earn their spot. And he's going to continue to do that.
This is somebody that, like you said, runs 22 miles per hour clocked it.
So
right?
stupid.
He's ridiculously fast.
22.8, round it up. Call it 23.
23 miles per hour. Benches 335 pounds. I mean, we just went over the starting weights and heights of the offensive line. He's benching more than Ben Coleman's weight, right? Like off his chest. Like this is
wait. Think about that. Think about that. Like
he's benching the center. He's benching the center.
Stood next to both of them. Jordyn Tyson does not look like a guy who should be able to do that.
Yeah,
he looks strong, but he doesn't look like he should be able to bench press Ben Coleman.
Yeah, well, that's the point of it. This is somebody that is a freak athlete that, again, I think there are a lot of folks outside of Tempe that are making guesses and judgments about the type of wide receiver that Jordyn Tyson is, when in reality, he can do it all. He's somebody that blocks, runs, catches, scores, and he's a clutch player, which I think is really the best part of his game. You need somebody to make a play. Jordyn Tyson will come down with the football. So to answer your question in the long format, Bees, if Jaron Hamilton's not out there, who will be your traditional vertical down the field guy, then it will be Jordyn Tyson, because he would be the fastest easily of the 3 wide receivers that we discussed.
Yeah.
So
super fun.
And again, just 24 days away from kickoff. Make sure you hit that like button. You hit the subscribe button. If you haven't already, please drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast if you're listening on audio. Before we get to the Arizona State defense, please, if you are not already somebody that is a PHNX diehard like Sharon or Bees or Will or some of the other folks that we have in the chat, would highly recommend that you head to gophnx.com. You click the little diehard tab. It's going to tell you everything that you unlock when you become a PHNX diehard. But I'll tell you right off the bat, we're in the perfect time to be a PHNX diehard, because training camp is going on with the Arizona Cardinals, because fall camp is going on for Arizona State. So you're getting a lot of behind the scenes stuff from practices, from press conferences. But Erik, when it comes to game day, it's a whole different experience in the Discord.
I'm so excited. And like you can tell just by talking to all the diehards in there that when it is game day, not just because when it's a home game, you're getting behind the scenes access and coverage to everything that we're bringing you from the stadium, before we leave and do our post game show, but just the conversations. Like, sometimes it's not super fun to watch games and be on social media and like you just see the stupidest thing you've ever seen in your entire life. Like, we have actual good conversation, and right now, like, there's still a training camp special going on at gophnx.com. It's still $36 as an intro offer for the year. I'm looking at it right now.
Wow. Yeah.
And I don't
know,
know,
if it says it on the website, then
like, training camp ain't lasted forever. That NFL season is coming up fast, and get in while you can. $36 a year, but not only just for us, but we also have Sun stuff. We have just like life stuff. There's a Madden channel, there's an anime channel, there's literally,
is there all these things?
Yeah, there literally is all that in the Dire Discord. Like I said, I did just a random AMA earlier today, talked about Cardinals, Suns, we talked about ASU, life, whatever it was. Like, that's what you get for being a diehard, plus a free shirt or hat when you sign up, plus access to all the locked writing on our website. Plus, we'll be doing diehard content. A lot of times we'll put some like press conferences and stuff out for diehards only. Like, it is such a great deal at just the $80 a year.
But for 36,
I mean, $80 a year is less than $10 a month. Right? $36 over 12 months is literally $3.
Just a cup of coffee.
It's $3 a month.
Yeah. Sharon says it. You're going to be sad to not be in the Discord during the season.
And here's the thing. It's worth the 80, but if you wait until the start of the season and you pay the 80 and you're going to be like, dang, I could have paid $36 for this. Like, I'm glad that I got in for 80, but you could have paid $36 right now.
You could have.
That's all I'm saying.
Are you guys going to Camp T this year? Yes. On Saturday morning, we will be up at Camp Tontezona, so say hello if you guys see us out there. Again, a lot of content going to be going up on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel, so make sure you're subscribed to PHNX Sports. But kicking it to the defensive side of the ball, this is what I would expect the depth chart to look like if the first game of the season was tomorrow. Starting from the left end spot, I do expect Prince Dorba, if 100% healthy, which unfortunately he wasn't at the start of last year, looks healthy this year. Prince Dorba at that left end spot, at defensive tackle. So this is just based off of, this isn't necessarily how like you would look at it, because if you have Dorba as the left end, in all honesty, Jacob Kangaika is going to be the DT that is playing next to him. Then you'll have CJ Fight, and then you'll have Clayton Smith next to CJ Fight. So that is what the defensive line should look like. Very, very similar to what it looked like last year. Dorba, Kangaika, Fight, and Clayton Smith. But you will see a lot of rotation at the defensive line spot.
And if you want, we're going to talk about it, obviously, but if you want a really deep dive into that defensive line, yesterday's show, I thought we
did a full hour on the D-line.
Was one of our best. I thought we really got down to the dirt on how all of those guys can benefit from playing next to each other, what they all need to do to improve, what the expectations should be. I thought that was a really good conversation that we had yesterday. So definitely go check that out if you missed it and you want a little bit more of a deep dive on the defensive line.
Moving to linebacker. Now, you'll notice that unlike some defenses, Arizona State runs a 4-2-5. So you're not going to see traditionally, like you would in a 4-3 defense, 3 linebackers, despite Arizona State having, a good trio, maybe even 4 linebackers that you could argue should be out there. Jordan Crook and Keyshawn Elliott appear to be your day one starters at linebacker. That's not a knock on Cyrus Fiaseu. You will see Cyrus Fiaseu and Martell Hughes this year, but Jordan Crook has, in my estimation, looked like the most improved player from last season to where we're at right now. Maybe the best linebacker on this team right now. So definitely get excited about watching Jordan Crook in 2025 and all these linebackers in reality.
Yeah, plus knowing how good everybody in this defense is, plus the fact that everybody except for one name on this list, and you've heard us say it before, but when you look at it, is a returner and a returning starter from last year as well. And then the only one who's new is Montana Warren, who's not new. He's been in the system for 3 years and has earned his spot as starting in the nickel corner. When you see it out on paper, it does feel a little different, where we've been saying, hey, every starter's returning. Hey, this secondary group is strong. Hey, this defensive line group is strong. And then you look at it in paper, you're like, oof.
Yeah. No, yeah. It's a group that has a lot of familiarity with each other in this system, which I think is going to be really important for this team in 2025. Glenn asking, is Kangaika practicing without any limitations now? Yes, he is practicing. Looks to be a full go as it stands right now. From what I've seen at Arizona State practice, doesn't look like there's any limitations. Kangaika back out there working with the first team defense and looks like Jacob Kangaika should look out there. But like I said, you will see a healthy rotation on the defensive line and linebacker, which we'll get to after we get through the entirety of what these defensive starters look like. So what do the DBs look like for Arizona State? Well, again, a lot of familiar faces in that secondary. Your starting corners are going to be Keith Abney and then, of course, Javen Robinson. No surprise there. Your 2 starting corners from a year ago. The same goes for the safety spots. Ghost Rouser at free safety with Xavier Alford at strong safety. I will say Kenny Dillingham has already said that the safety competition has been maybe the most intense competition out there thus far. That has a lot to do with the fact that we haven't seen Ghost Rouser and Xavier Alford at a full go because, again, Kenny is just kind of holding some of the vets back. They should be 100% solid, ready for that first game of the season, but this has allowed Chris Johnson Jr. and Boogie Wilson to get a lot of really good reps out there. And I think you will see a good chunk of Boogie Wilson, the Washington State transfer, in 2025.
Yeah, you can't tell X and Ghost to just go half.
Yeah, I feel bad for NAU, bro.
Dude, Ghost Rouser riled up against NAU. He might kill somebody.
I hope not, but man,
I hope not too.
Those guys are certainly going to need.
I want it on the record. I'm not rooting for him to kill somebody.
Those guys are literally going to need bubble wrap going out there.
Okay, genuinely. What do you think?
I'm scared for this question.
The pre-game prep and meetings are looking like for NAU. Like how
it's the same. Like no one thinks we're gonna win.
And then they look at the paper like, yeah, well, I don't think we're gonna win either, coach.
I mean, yeah, I don't see it. But
son, you've got Ghost Rousers. Who's gonna be
responsibility. I feel bad, especially for their skill guys. Their quarterback is gonna be up all night. And he is gonna need to ensure that his offensive line gets a good night's sleep. The night before that game, because this front seven, specifically Clayton Smith, is they're going to be a problem, not just for NAU, but for everybody.
Yeah, but for NAU, it's going to be tough. Have we listed every starter? Have we gone through each one?
The last one is that nickel corner spot, and that is Montana Warren as it stands right now. But to your question that you would ask,
that's kind of where I was getting to.
Kendrick Breedlove, the Purdue transfer, has had a really, really good fall camp. I would not be surprised if this is a position where we're talking literally every other drive we're seeing one of these guys just to keep them fresh. But in my estimation, I don't think either one of them has 100% separated themselves in this conversation. I think this is easily the closest position battle as it stands right now. Is that starting nickel corner spot, which is exactly what you want, given the fact that you're only replacing one starter.
Sure. Yeah. And it's not, and we can clarify here, it is not because like Montana Warren has been disappointing in camp.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Montana Warren has looked as good as advertised, but it's more so like Kendrick Breedlove is giving you things that maybe you didn't expect when he first transferred to ASU, given the fact that he's coming from a bad Big Ten defense.
Yeah, but he was productive.
Yeah,
he was productive on that bad Big Ten. Didn't he lead them in tackles?
It was either, I don't know if he led them in tackles. I think he led them in interceptions last year. It was either him or Nyland Green had led Purdue in INTs in 2024. But again, Purdue was not a very good team.
3 of Purdue's 4 interceptions in 2024, played in all 12 games, 40 tackles, 2 of those for a loss, 4 pass breakups, and 605 total snaps.
He's looked good, man. He's looked really good.
Was graded by Pro Football Focus as Purdue's 7th best defensive player who earned at least 100 snaps. Among the team's secondary members, he was the 3rd best in coverage.
You'll see him. You'll see him, and you'll see Montana.
Good. You don't want it to just be like handed to guy. I'm not saying it would have been, right? But I like that there's a competition here.
Yeah.
Right. And it's going to push them subconsciously. They're already going to work hard, but subconsciously they're both going to work harder, looking at somebody else and saying like that guy deserves to be a starter too. Plus you have 2 starting caliber nickels, which is, which is something where it's, hey, maybe one game, what Heinrich is good at, you lean a little bit more into that. You're going to get majority of the snaps here. Another game, maybe Montana, you lean into it, or give it a couple of weeks and maybe one of them kind of shows that, hey, consistently I'm just a little bit better, than this one when I'm on the field, right? So now we have our for sure backup, but now you are our majority of the time starter in nickel. Like having that as like a safety blanket is great for any team.
And there is a world that, again, like you never want to see anybody get hurt, but if there is a situation at the safety spot where either Rouser or Alford have to miss any time, Montana Warren is a traditional safety. He's somebody that can play that safety spot. We've seen him do it in practice even. So if there is a need for Montana to go back and play on the back end of this defense, then Breedlove kicks in at nickel and you feel good there because of the competition that we've seen through the first week and change of fall camp.
Yeah. It's fun. I like that at least in each offensive and defensive starters, there's a position that's like, man, like this is a competition, right? Yeah. You have the running backs where it's like that. I mean, you could see all 3 of them in the first drive of the game, right?
These are all competitions that are. We talked about the quarterback competition last year.
These are real competitions.
These are competitions that it is real toss-ups, especially when it comes to the nickel spot. And the running back thing for me doesn't feel like a competition because you already know that it's going to be a by committee situation.
Sure, but as far as who's getting the first snap,
like I said, I couldn't tell you which of those 3 has had the best fall camp. If I had to give it to one player at running back, then I'd say maybe Raleek.
Good. I mean, good, right? Like, I don't want there to be. I mean, I guess if there's one guy that's clearly better than the rest, the other 2 are still good. It's like, all right, we got Cam Scott 2.0. But I love that. Like, I really do. Plus, like when you're game planning, like talk about NAU, right? It's like, all right, today we're focusing on Kanye Udo. Tomorrow we're focusing on Kyson Brown. Day after that we're focusing on Raleek Brown.
Yeah.
Right. And then, hey, by the way, here comes the rest of the depth of the running back room when we're down 40. you know, in the first quarter and in wideout. Like, I just, not just for NAU, but for every team going up against this team specifically. Plus, you know, Kenny and Marcus are going to be changing their schemes and changing their play calling, and you know they're going to save some stuff and they're going to catch you by surprise. I am not envious of the opponents for Arizona State this year, and not saying that ASU is going to dog walk every opponent. Right.
They should dog walk the first three.
Even though Josh Hoover might like that. I think that, it is going to be something to where every single game, the element of surprise is going to be on their side.
Yeah, I would say so, just based off the fact that, again, kind of what you alluded to is the competitive depth this year. Kenny has said it last week that this is a situation now at Arizona State where it's not a traditional 2 and 3 deep where it's like, hey, the starters are head and shoulders above the 2s and the 3s to the point where like they couldn't go out there and play a competitive series. The 2s and the 3s now at Arizona State, because of the way that Kenny has recruited this team, both like from the high school ranks and the transfer portal, and the way that these guys have developed, you do have a real situation where we can talk about backups as guys that would start at other Division I programs, which is not something that could be said about Arizona State in years past. You have that now, and I think you will see that as Arizona State moves through the 2025 season, especially against a team like NAU or Mississippi State where, hey, maybe the starters don't play the entire game. Even when Jeff Sims gets out there, it's like you still are – Mississippi State and NAU are still going to need their ones to stop Jeff Sims.
Can I say something? I felt like – the Jeff Sims game last year, I felt like they didn't let him loose. I felt like they didn't let him be Jeff Sims.
Despite what people said in the comments, Jeff Sims did not lose Arizona State that game.
No, but I don't think that he would like it. Just when you watch him, it was like I feel like he can do more, and maybe that's just like me being like, But
that's not necessarily on Jeff.
No, I'm not. But I'm not saying that's on Jeff. But I'm just saying like if we do get a Jeff Sims game, I just kind of want to see him just go wild.
I don't want a full Jeff Sims game because that means Sam is not playing.
Sure.
But I mean, heck, I'll take a half a Jeff Sims game.
Can we play a little game here?
Why?
What, half of
just
a Jeff
for fun?
Sims?
Yeah, that means
why
you're
would
up.
you?
That means you're beating the hell
not
out of
because
the
like
Jeff Sims
Levitt's
team.
out.
No. Yeah, it means you're probably up 40. Which again, I think you'll get half a Jeff Sims game the first week of the season.
That's when you'll let him cook because he's not allowed to. He's not allowed to
be.
He's not allowed to turn the stove on himself
unless dinner's already made.
Or if he's like the starter.
He's got like a play kitchen.
Because
he's got the controller that's turned off.
Good lord! Like in that Cincinnati game, like
messed up, man.
Like you go into that game as Kenny, and you're like, all right, I have to kind of monitor this. I have to. Is our team good enough to win on their own? Probably not. But what we've shown so far with Scat, like, let's just have Jeff be a game manager and try that. And that was the reasoning. Now, I
get the reason.
If you're up 30, and that would be the most fun thing of all time.
Jeff Sims has had a good fall camp.
Jeff Sims is a good football player.
He's a great practice player. I want to see what Jeff Sims does now, like when he does get into a game and it's not so much of like a social media war against Jeff Sims, like because of the turnovers that happened years and years ago at this point. Like Jeff Sims is now same as Sam going into the second year in the system, which I think it was either Roy or Kenny said it early in the week that Jeff has never had that opportunity, which is crazy to think that Jeff has never been going into the same system 2 years in a row. Now he has that opportunity as a backup quarterback, which, again, everybody, rightfully so, is going to talk about the starter, and there are not a lot of folks that ever talk about backups anyways.
Until they need to.
But Arizona State...
And then you're always talking about
is
backups.
in a really good spot to have Jeff Sims be the backup quarterback here. Like, they just are.
I got an even more fun question.
Oh, God.
What if you're up 42-0 near the end of the third quarter against U of A? Are you keeping Sam in to just...
No.
Absolutely not.
Not unless it's like you can't make a Big 12 championship, but that's your last game of the season.
The only way that I see Sam and Jordyn being out there past a 40-point lead in the second half is if it's late in the year and you need the CFP love because we have to beat down on
I wasn't
one
even
of these Power
thinking
4
about.
teams.
I wasn't even thinking about the CFP.
You're talking just whenever. If they're up 40 at any point, you will see Jeff Sims.
No. I'm not talking about.
No.
I'm not talking about the CFP love. I'm not talking about. Like, forget about positioning or anything. I'm just talking about the pure hatred to U of A.
I still think that we would whoop on them with Jeff Sims.
I think Kenny learned his lesson from playing Jordyn Tyson in the fourth quarter last year.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
And I think you will see if that's the case, which it will be the
but
case.
Man, 42-3, 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. You see 9. What's his number?
Jeff?
Yeah.
2?
You see, 2. You see 2 walk on the field. Green dot.
Yeah, I mean, that's scary.
Ready to go.
that's scary.
Okay.
The Zamasu is going to be terrified.
I have a question. But I'm going to ask it to all of you after this break.
Low-key, I forgot that we even had to take another
break.
break.
Good thing that I'm here. Good thing Jeff Sims is here for Sam Leavitt.
I'm glad we get to take a break so I can tell you guys about Mountain America Credit Union. They have something that everybody needs, and that is, of course, a checking account just for you. But they've got one with built-in benefits unlike anything you've ever seen. Mountain America's My Style checking account literally has perks just for you. You guys can enjoy restaurant deals, mobile phone protection, telehealth access, identity protection, loan rate discounts, offers on travel and events, but it doesn't stop there. So many more perks. Make sure you make My Style your lifestyle at Mountain America Credit Union. Visit macu.com/mystyle to apply. Insured by NCUA. Membership required based on eligibility. Some benefits require no cost registration/activation. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply.
Listen, we all know that ASU is going to have a rocking home field advantage at Mountain America Credit Union, and you need a home floor advantage with Empire today, but it's not really an advantage if it's hard to get it, right?
That's true.
You don't want to go to these big box stores, wander around, have nobody help you.
I am anti-big box store.
Have to be.
Yeah.
Pay an enormous amount of money, and then if they can help you install it, it's in 2027, and if not, you got to go either find somebody else to do it or just go do it yourself. Then you get home and you realize like, oh, nope, guess it's not good enough because I didn't have somebody come in and match it up with my home, and I picked the wrong color. Now with Empire today, free in-home estimate. They answer all of your questions, clear upfront, all-inclusive pricing. Plus, I buried the lead. They want to give you some money. Schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better off at home. And PHNX listeners can receive a $350 off discount when using promo code PHNX. That's right, $350 off when using promo code PHNX. Restrictions apply. Visit empireday.com/PHNX for full details. I have a question.
Okay, I have an answer. Maybe. I maybe have an answer.
Arizona State is the blank best team in the Big 12 if Jeff Sims was the starting quarterback and Sam Leavitt was off the roster. Everything else is the same. You still have Jordyn Tyson. You still have your returning starters on defense. You have all of that. But if Jeff Sims is your day one starter for the season, Arizona State is the blank best team in the Big 12.
Wow. I'm going to say...
Bet you didn't see that one coming today,
I didn't. At no point today did I think that was going to be a question that was asked. I'm going to say 8.
The eighth best team?
At least. That's at the worst. I think they're certainly still better than Oklahoma State. They're better than U of A. They're better than... they might be better in Colorado. Like there's a number of teams that they would still be better than just based off the fact that you have Jordyn Tyson, an elite wide receiver. You have a flurry of running backs. You have a great defense. Like
ASU without Leavitt versus BYU without Retzloff. Who wins?
ASU. And it's still not close. It's not.
So is that eighth? It's not close?
I'd have to count out the teams. Kansas State, I think, would still be better. TCU would be better. I think Baylor would be better. I think Iowa State would be better. You don't think TCU would be better?
Overall, I don't think the roster's that good.
Still, the drop off
is like TCU is like a wild card. We can include them though. So that's what 4, 5.
They would be between 6 and 8. 6 and 8 if Jeff Sims was starting quarterback, which
still pretty good.
You would still 5 years ago. You'd take that.
That's
you would 100% take 6 in the conference. In a conference,
they're for
16.
sure going bowling. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. Which would be again in an alternate reality. That is the situation. Jeff Sims is your starting quarterback, and you still do probably win 7, 8 games, which. You'll take, but with Sam, you have an opportunity to go undefeated. You have an opportunity to go to the college football playoff.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's the same or that it would be exactly the same.
I mean, it would be interesting to say the least.
Oh my
if
goodness.
that was the situation. A baby.
The whole office just
A
stopped.
literal baby is in the office right now.
Archer is here.
I want to get out of here now. I want to get out of here. I
Yeah,
wanna go.
you can follow the show.
I can't. We got to keep talking, but there's a baby in the office.
There's a baby in the office.
We had to let everybody know. The baby
There's a
is
baby in the office. Megan is in the office.
The
and
baby's in the office.
I'm looking at her face because she said she brought me lunch. Thank you, Megan. And her jaw just drops. And I'm like, who just walked in?
The baby.
I'm like, nobody in this office is getting that reaction.
No.
And it's a baby.
It's not just a baby, man.
It's the baby.
It's the baby.
The baby.
The baby is in the
The
office.
baby is in the office.
in the office right now. I think, again, like this is what you're probably going to look like. Starters, offense, defense. We don't have special teams on here.
Kenyon Floyd.
Jesus is going to be your starting
Kick return.
kicker. Kick return is going to be interesting. I think if I had to give you an answer right now, I would say it's Raleek.
Which I love that.
Yeah, anytime that you can get somebody that's maybe not your like number one skill guy, like a Jordyn Tyson out there.
Any Jaron Hamilton?
Jaron and Jalen as well.
And Jalen.
Yeah, those are the three guys that you can expect to see being your kickoff and punt return guys. If there is a situation where things heat up at the end of camp, Corey Butler is a name to keep in mind. Although I do see them utilizing a red shirt for him. So maybe if you do see him as somebody as a kickoff or punt return guy, it will be in the NAU, Mississippi State, Texas State type of games where it is a just full on blowout, or at least it should be. That way they could still preserve his red shirt. But ultimately, the three kickoff punt return guys that we've seen in practice are Raleek and Jalen Moss and Jaron Hamilton.
If I could turn injuries off, like in a
real
video
life?
game, I would love to see what Sam Leavitt could do.
No. Well,
Yeah.
I guess if you could,
No,
if you
that's
could,
what I'm saying. If you turn
if you
injuries
could,
off,
I mean, it'd just be gross.
What?
It'd be
Wouldn't that be
gross.
fun?
It'd be
No.
gross.
that'd be fun.
It'd be
No.
gross.
What do you mean that wouldn't be fun?
Because he doesn't have breakaway speed.
He would be fun. I'm not saying it'd be like the guy that you go to all the time. But if you turn injuries off, you're up 40 against NAU. Sam Leavitt, go field a punt.
I feel like if I could turn like eligibility rules off or like red shirt stuff, then
I'd put
a
you
lot
back
of these,
there.
yeah, no, I mean that would be
Entertaining
dangerous.
for us.
That would be dangerous for me.
You can get on my back and we could just go.
We'd get
And
we're
both
killed.
we're both carrying the ball.
We're double like
Yeah,
handing
and then like I'll throw you off one way and I'll go the other. And
with the ball.
well, who knows? Who knows who has the ball? You
Well,
can take it
gotta
one.
let me know because then
Well, we would plan it, but they wouldn't know.
they wouldn't know.
So
I
you would go
wouldn't know.
flying that way.
You wouldn't know.
I'd have no
Are
clue.
you also on kickoff return?
Yes, but I have no idea what was going on.
That would be so bad.
I'd be facing the wrong way.
How many yards do you think we get
Who do you think would be best out of us three?
At a kick return?
at kick returns? I think it would be me.
I'm going to completely disqualify myself from this one. I don't
So
think
it's just between us. Between us, who do you think is Unk and who do you think is washed?
This was a question from
This
yesterday.
was a question
by the way.
yesterday.
who posed that.
Chat.
Chat did.
Who?
I think.
Who's Unk and who's washed?
Ayrton's answer was he's washed.
And he's Unk, which I was a little
Is that not the same thing?
No. Very
You'll have
different.
to tune in. I mean, it shows me you didn't listen to yesterday's
Yeah,
show.
crazy.
That's just,
Come on, man.
so screw you, bro.
Come on, dude.
M saying would like to see Zechariah Sample get some returns. Yeah, I mean, this is somebody who has already utilized his red shirt, so there is a good chance that we see Zechariah Sample minimally. Wow, that was a difficult one to get out. See anemone. There's a good chance that you see Zechariah Sample at certain points this year on offense, special teams, all the above. Again, somebody that I think offensively, not named Kamari Anderson, has had a phenomenal camp on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
So
Depth even at kick return.
depth everywhere, man. Coaches, offense, the fan base.
The only position that there's no depth is kicker. We need Jesus to stay around.
There was a crazy moment at practice the other day where they were doing like kickoff, like just field goals, right? And they have like assistants and analysts and everybody walking around. So I'm not going to say who it was. In all honesty, I don't even know. Like, I just heard this and all the media was kind of like, that's a crazy thing to say. So they were kicking field goals. And you know how they have on like towers, they have like the videographers and people up there, right? So one of the kickers just absolutely, not one of the kickers, Jesus, just an absolute knuckleball that goes high as hell through the uprights, good, almost hits the camera guy. And one of the assistants or analysts is walking by and he's like, watch out, we actually have a kicker that can get it up there this year. And everyone was like, oh my gosh, dude. Just flaming last year's special teams. But in all honesty, like he's right. Like they do have a legit kicker this year.
I remember at one of the Peach Bowl practices, and they were practicing kicks, and I was standing there with some unnamed media folks, and we were like, "That is not a Peach Bowl kicking squad."
No,
like we're like, oh,
absolutely not.
And we're just watching miss.
Well, I mean, that's like, and that goes to what a lot of the conversation was last year. I guess the offseason of like, oh, ASU won a lot of close games, right? They're not going to do it this year. They're better equipped to win close games this year now than they were last year because they actually have somebody that can consistently make field goals from 40 and beyond. Last year, it was a literal coin flip. I believe it was the second worst field goal percentage of any Division I team in 2024.
Worse than NAU.
Sure. But yeah, like it's like they are an improved team just about everywhere on this roster, despite the national conversation of like, how do they replace Cam Scadaboo? Like,
it's just easy. It's an easy clicks and conversations.
But still,
how many points is Cam Scadaboo worth each game? Like
this year?
Yeah, like how many
Cam
points?
Scadaboo?
I don't know, how many points was he worth? Like, what are you losing?
I think he was worth at least 10 points a game last year.
Okay.
What do you think he was?
I don't know. I just threw it out there. I hope you would say like 6 or like 9.
I think he was worth 10 points.
Yeah,
last year.
that's probably 12. Because you can argue that Jesus Gomez against whatever the hell you were doing last year.
Hoping the way you had set it up in your head.
Yeah.
It gives you 6 points.
Not just like more, but like you're making up for like the negative.
With the addition of Jesus Gomez, did you balance out losing Cam Scadaboo?
Oh, tomorrow's show.
Trending.
Does Jesus Gomez change? Cam Scadaboo lost for Arizona State.
Cam Scadaboo, and I guess we could technically look this up. How many points Cam Scadaboo scored last year?
No, but that's not.
Because then it's also like when he put you in the position to score.
Yeah.
How many times did Cam Scadaboo put you in a position to kick a field goal?
I do low-key want to see how many points
you went for it on 4th and 1, and then you missed it because they knew you're going to go for it on 4th and 1 because you don't have a kicker.
I guess
can't account for those points.
What's 24 times 6? Does anybody have like really good
120, 144
plus 2? So 146, that's how many points he scored last year.
Okay.
Like, I don't know what that averages out to divided by what?
146 divided by 14. It's in the realm of 10. So it's like
146 divided by 14. 10.4. Wow, I was like spot on.
Oh
like,
my God.
That's pretty good. That was pretty good.
Yeah. But I think, again, given the fact that you're a deep wide receiver, your running back room is technically
Somebody
deeper.
clip that and send it to my mom.
What?
The math
that you just did in your head? I mean, that was pretty fire. Not going to lie on that one. Guys, that's going to do it for today's episode of the PHNX Sun Devils Show.
Glenn has a question. We got real quick.
Let's see.
Says, if Scad had an extra year, would he have run it back with the boys? Or would he have gone into the draft?
Ooh. My heart says that he would come back. My head tells me there's not a chance in hell that he would come back.
I mean, he was like crying after the CFP loss, right?
Yeah, but in the world of college football, especially as a running back, you don't stay
as an older running back already. Yeah. Like it's just tough to see.
Now
the NIL money that he would have got here,
he would have been maybe the top NIL earner in the country.
But I think you lose Kyson Brown if Scat comes back. But regardless, that's an alternate reality. Guys, make sure you hit that like button and the subscribe button on your way out if you haven't already. If you enjoyed today's content, give us a follow at PHNX _Sun Devils. You can follow me at Anthony _Totri. You can follow my Strawberry Swirl Girl here, also known as my passenger princess, at Erik Ruby. That's Erik with a K. You can follow the Daily Man at Shane Deef.
Equating Jesus Gomez to Cam Scadaboo as always.
And we'll see you guys on Thursday. In the meantime, go Devils. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.